Well, hello there. Welcome back to the channel. My name is James, and here at 20th and 21st Movies, we are about all things cinema. Well, this is an exciting time of the month here in the middle of September. It's that time of the month where the Criterion Collection announces their upcoming titles. And just a few minutes ago, the Criterion Collection announced their December 2021 titles. So the Criterion Collection is releasing 3 titles in the month of December. So it's a shorter list than what we've received in the last several months, where we've probably been spoiled a bit getting 5 and 6 titles in each of these last few months. But even though it's a short list for Criterion in December, these are all excellent titles for the Criterion Collection to release, including one of the titles that they announced for 4K Ultra HD back in August. Their initial 6 titles, one of those 6 titles is coming in the month of December, and it's a title from 1948 from Michael Powell and Emeric Pressburger that I think a lot of people are going to be very excited about. So without any further ado, let's talk about these 3 upcoming titles for Criterion in the month of December. All right, so Criterion is releasing 3 titles in the month of December. The first title is coming out on Tuesday, December the 7th. And then there's 2 titles coming out on Tuesday, December the 14th. And the first title that's coming out on December the 7th is coming from director Regina King, who is a fantastic actress. I have loved her work for all these years and was so happy to see her win the Academy Award a couple years back. And she's doing the directing thing, and she is just blowing it up in Hollywood. So I'm very proud of the work that she is doing. And this title, One Night in Miami from 2020, was directed by Regina King, and it's coming in at spy number 1106. And so this is an adaptation of the Kent Powers play. And it's basically a fictionalized account of a meeting that took place in 1964 between Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, and Sam Cooke and Malcolm X in a hotel room at the Hampton House. They were meeting to celebrate Muhammad Ali's surprise win over Sonny Liston. So I'm gonna go on the Criterion site here, and I'm gonna read the description from the Criterion site of this exciting title that's coming out on December the 7th. Adapted by Kent Powers from his acclaimed play, the featured directorial debut of Academy Award-winning actor Regina King puts viewers in a room with 4 icons at the forefront of Black American culture as they carouse, clash, bare their souls, and grapple with their places within the sweeping change of the civil rights movement. February 25th, 1964 has gone down in history as the day that the brash young boxer Muhammad Ali, then known as Cassius Clay, defeated Sonny Liston. But what happened after the fight was perhaps even more incredible. Ali, civil rights leader Malcolm X, NFL great Jim Brown, and King of Soul Sam Cooke all came together at a Miami hotel. Electric with big ideas and activist spirit, One Night in Miami plunges us into the midst of an intimate, ongoing conversation and a defining moment in American history. So this is a very fascinating title that's coming out from director Regina King. And of course, one of the actors who played in this film, who played Sam Cooke in this film, Leslie Odom Jr., he was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. He did not win it. He lost out on that category to, of course, Daniel Kaluuya, who won for Judas and the Black Messiah. Just a brilliant performance in that film. And of course, Leslie Odom Jr. did a really nice job performing as Sam Cooke in this movie. But this just looks like an absolutely fantastic title for Criterion to bring out in the month of December. Just continuing that trend of the inclusion of more filmmakers of color, more female filmmakers, I think is a wonderful thing for the Criterion Collection to be doing, and this is really exciting. When you look at the special features, we're getting a new 4K digital transfer that's approved by director Regina King, with a 5.1 surround DTS HD master audio on the Blu-ray. So that's great to know. And these special features feature a lot of participation from Regina King, a new conversation with her, screenwriter Kent Powers, and a film critic, Gil Robertson. You've got a conversation between King and filmmaker Barry Jenkins from a 2021 episode of the Director's Cut. You've got a new program on here featuring King and some of the actors from the film. And you've got a new program on the making of the film. and then a new program on the film's sound design. So a lot of really fascinating features coming out on this disc for One Night in Miami for this title that's coming out on Tuesday, December the 7th. So this is definitely one to look forward to, and I'm very excited that it's coming out in the month of December. This is One Night in Miami from director Regina King, and it's coming out from Criterion on Tuesday, December the 7th. All right, so that brings us to Tuesday, December the 14th, and we've got two titles coming out on Tuesday, December the 14th. The first title is from another African-American filmmaker, Gordon Parks. This is a historical filmmaker. Mr. Gordon Parks is the very first African-American director of a Hollywood studio film, so it's very nice to see a title from him coming into the Criterion Collection. And this title is The Learning Tree from Gordon Parks. It's his 1969 film. It's a coming-of-age story from this very important director, and essentially the story of The Learning Tree. This is a film from 1969, and the story of this film centers around the life and journey of Newt Winger. He's a teenager growing up in Cherokee Flats, Kansas in the 1920s, and it covers his growth into manhood and the tragedies that he faces along the way. So I'm going to read from the Criterion site the summary of this coming-of-age story, just to give you another flavor of what this film's about. But this is another exciting title that's coming out in the month of December from Criterion. With this tender and clear-eyed coming-of-age odyssey, the renowned photographer turned filmmaker Gordon Parks not only became the first Black American director to make a Hollywood studio film, he also served as writer, producer, and composer, resulting in a deeply personal artistic achievement. Based on Parks' own semi-autobiographical novel, The Learning Tree follows the journey of Newt Winger, Kyle Johnson, a teenage descendant of exodusters growing up in rural Kansas in the 1920s, as he experiences the bittersweet flowering of first love, finds his relationship with a close friend tested, and navigates the injustices embedded within a racist, legal, and educational system. Exquisitely capturing the bucolic splendor of his heartland setting, this landmark film tempers nostalgia with an incisive understanding of the harsh realities, hard-won lessons, and often wrenching moral choices that shape the road to self-determination of the young Black man at its center. So this is a very fascinating sounding film that's coming out from the Criterion Collection from director Gordon Parks. This is a film from 1969. It's a coming-of-age story. This is a film I have not yet seen, but it's one that I'm very much looking forward to seeing, and I'm so happy to see that the Criterion Collection is releasing this title from this director. So I was very excited when I read the special features. We're getting a new 2K digital restoration with an uncompressed monaural soundtrack on this Blu-ray. And there's a number of documentaries that are listed for this title that is really exciting. So you get a documentary on the making of the film, you get a new conversation moderated by film scholar Michael Gillespie. You also get My Father, Gordon Parks from 1969. This is a documentary made on the set of The Learning Tree, so that's very fascinating. And then you get Unstoppable, which is another documentary featuring producer Warrington Hudlin in conversation with Parks and filmmakers Ozzie Davis and Melvin Van Peebles. Of course, we know the Melvin Van Peebles set is coming out later in the month of September that I and several folks are very excited about. So it's really nice to see sort of that, cross-pollination of these different filmmakers appearing in different works that are coming out in the Criterion Collection. So I just think that's exciting, but this particular edition has a number of very interesting documentaries that I think will be very fascinating to pour into once we get our hands on this title. So this is The Learning Tree. This is a 1969 film from director Gordon Parks, and it is one of two titles coming out from the Criterion Collection on Tuesday, December the 14th. I'm definitely looking forward to checking this one out. All right, so last but not least, the third title in this rather short list month of releases from the Criterion Collection. The third title to come out in the month of December is the second title that's coming out on Tuesday, December the 14th. And it is a title that is very familiar to a lot of fans of the Criterion Collection and film lovers around the world, and I think it's one of Martin Scorsese's favorite films, and that is 1948's The Red Shoes. This is from Michael Powell and Emeric Pressburger, and I happen to have, of course, the 2010 Blu-ray for this edition from the Criterion Collection. This is spine number 44 from the Criterion Collection. And this is just an absolute classic of American cinema. It is a beautiful film. It is just an absolutely extraordinary piece of cinema. It's also a technical work of art. This is a Technicolor film from 1948, and it is absolutely gorgeous to watch. And so this is just an amazing film that is coming out on 4K Ultra HD from the Criterion Collection on December the 14th. So this is one of the titles that was announced back in August that it would be coming out in 4K Ultra HD, one of those 6 titles, and it's so exciting. We're getting 3 of those titles in November, along with Uncut Gems. Now we're getting The Red Shoes in December. So I am really excited about the pace that I see Criterion coming out with these 4K titles, and I'm just looking forward to hearing more titles coming out from the Criterion Collection. Now, a couple of things to note on this release. This is going to be a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray combo pack. It's going to be 2 discs. It's coming in at MSRP $49.95. So this title is coming out in the month of December, so it's going to be after the November Criterion Collection sale, so we won't be able to take advantage of that 50% off. But as I look here on the Criterion site, is currently listed at $39.96. So it's MSRP of $49.95, which I think the standard Ultra HDs are going to be at that MSRP of $49.95, but it's currently discounted on the Criterion site at the time I'm publishing this video at $39.96. So that's something to keep in mind. The other thing to keep in mind is as I look at the special features, so if you go on the Criterion site and you look at the special features, you're going to see that those special features appear to be totally identical to the special features that are already on this 2010 Blu-ray. So if you already have this Blu-ray of The Red Shoes, this 2010 edition, that is similar to Mulholland Drive. That's sort of where you sort of have a decision to make as to whether or not is it a worthy upgrade. This is going to be a central question for a lot of people. Now, if you look at the Criterion site and we look at that 4K Ultra HD edition, it's going to be a 4K digital transfer from the 2009 restoration with uncompressed monaural soundtrack, and the 4K Ultra HD disc will be presented in Dolby Vision HDR, and the Blu-ray will have the special features, and that's pretty standard that they put the special features on the Blu-ray in these Ultra HD combo packs to leave room for the Ultra HD disc to just house the movie. But the Ultra HD disc is going to have Dolby Vision HDR. It's a 4K digital transfer of the 2009 restoration that served as the basis for this 2010 Blu-ray. So the question really becomes, if the special features are all the same, which they appear to be, so there's no new supplements being offered in this edition, the question is, how much of an upgrade are we getting on this 4K Ultra HD disc? I have a feeling it's probably going to be a pretty nice upgrade visually. It's just a matter of, is it enough of an upgrade to make people want to purchase this if you already have this edition? I am personally inclining on picking it up because I have a sense that it's probably going to be a pretty substantive upgrade over this 2010 Blu-ray, but I'm very much looking forward to reading some reviews when this one comes out and those comparisons are made. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think about this upcoming edition in 4K of The Red Shoes? If you're planning to pick up this title, do you think that this will be a good upgrade over the standard Blu-ray, or are you going to be content to stick with your Blu-ray that you already have from 2010? Let me know that in the comments below. So that basically is the releases from the Criterion Collection for the month of December 2021. So that wraps up what has been, to this point, just an absolutely stellar year from the Criterion Collection. I'm not really sure where 2021 would rank for Criterion over the last, say, 10 to 15 years. But this has been an amazing year from the Criterion Collection of releases. And this fall is just stacked with some fantastic releases from the Criterion Collection. Of course, one of those releases is a release that I recently watched, and I'm going to be putting out a review on this channel very soon, Mona Lisa, the film starring Bob Hoskins, Kathy Tyson, and Michael Caine. So looking forward to that review coming out on this channel soon. So overall, it's been an absolutely stellar year for Criterion for 2021, and I'm looking for even greater things in 2022. But let me know in the comments below, of the titles that have been announced for December 2021, what titles are you most excited about picking up? Let me know that in the comments below. Also, let me know what titles that are coming out this fall from the Criterion Collection are you most excited about picking up, whether it's in the month of September, October, November, this month in December. Let me know what titles for you are at the top of your list of titles that you're looking to pick up this year. Let me know that in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time at the movies. Peace.